The whack of the wooden bat, the flight of the leather ball, and a cheer from the crowd. Immigrant teens in Queens, New York take to the pitch and play their nation's pastime, cricket. These neighborhoods are home to many emerging South Asian and Caribbean communities. Patrolling these streets, New York City police officers found that they were not always the most popular faces on the block.
We looked at, okay, how do we create a relationship? How do we create a line of communication? And how do we do it in a genuine way?
To connect with the community, the NYPD proposed a cricket league for local teens. Cricket has its start in ancient times. It became popular with aristocrats in 17th century England, but has since found an international popularity. And now, cricket is slowly making a hit in the U.S. The NYPD Cricket League plays a modified version of the sport called 20-20, which is 20 overs per side and more popular in the United States. But what's more important is this league gives the NYPD an opportunity to engage through sport a community of kids that has long been hard to reach.
I think there's a much closer relationship, certainly between the young people playing in this league and the police officers who coach and organize it.
And on this steamy day, the Lycans face off against the Superstars in the Summer Championship.
And it's all Lycans here at Casino Park.
With a final 4-run boundary, the Lycans come from behind to claim the victory.
It was really amazing, the whole tournament, and we really enjoyed it.
Sports has a way of bridging divides, and no matter where you come from or what your field of play may be, out here, everyone is on the same team. Tiki Barber, NBC News, Queens, New York.
NBC's Janet Shamlian is live in North Carolina's Transylvania County to explain. Hey, Janet.
Hoda, good morning. You know, it didn't take long for this. Fans who can't get enough of the Hunger Games are flocking to sites where the movie was filmed in search of a little adventure themselves. All of them are here in North Carolina. Many are idyllic settings like this. A few are off the beaten path, but that has not stopped the search.
With its heart-racing adventure scenes, Hunger Games is a box office blockbuster.
I volunteer as tribute.
And fans are now in hot pursuit of this post-apocalyptic world. They're finding it about as far from Hollywood as you can get.
We heard they were filming the Hunger Games in this area, and I come by here lots going to work, and we just want to come up and see it.
Tiny Henry River Village is a page from the past and off the beaten path. But tourists are beating a path to it because the old mill town served as the movie's hardscrabble District 12 and home of heroine Katniss Everdeen.
Welcome and happy Hunger Games.
83-year-old Wade Shepard owns the land and the buildings on it, including this one, transformed for the movie. The property, now for sale for $1.4 million, has suddenly become a major must-see.
Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, they started. At dark, they were still rolling from half of the states in the Union. Unreal.
But the biggest draw is what no movie set could ever recreate. The waterfalls and wilderness where the fight to the death game plays out.
For the most part, they're welcoming the tourists and the millions of dollars they'll inevitably spend. There is concern, however, that some adventure seekers may try to recreate some of the scenes from the movie right out here in the middle of the forest.
DuPont State Forest, which is already seeing a surge.
So Katniss is down by the river looking for PETA.
Some coming for the newly created Hunger Games fan tour.
Yesterday I was joking, I had 3 phones going. I had my cell phone and 2 office phones going just to handle the calls.
Straight from fans like Sarah Green, who snagged a job as an extra and sat in this Charlotte theater for hours during the interview scene.
Did you get paid?
I did. Not as much as I paid my babysitter.
There's 24 of us, Cal.
The Tar Heel State is capitalizing on the crowds, and with the Hunger Games being a trilogy, hoping the cast and crew will return again.
Janet, all I can say, the odds are ever in our favor here in North Carolina.
Oh. Even if they get the film the second time, fans may not know about it because the first time they filmed in secret for 6 months here under a code name. What's this? Okay, could this be a sponsor gift like Katniss received in a movie with a message that could possibly save my life? Okay, ladies, it may save my job. I think this is my cue to toss it to you.
Finally tonight, as millions of Americans give thanks on Thanksgiving, one small community in Arkansas will be offering its thanks for the holiday itself. That's because the livelihoods of many of those who live there depend on turkeys. NBC's Janet Shamlian explains.
It's long been a staple of the Thanksgiving Day feast.
Then they ate.
So much so, it's often called simply Turkey Day.
Joey, those are my maternity pants.
No, these are my Thanksgiving pants.
Without these gobblers, many say the holiday just isn't complete.
What kind of a Thanksgiving dinner is this? Where's the turkey, Chuck?
It's a question they're not asking in a small community in Arkansas. On a map, the town is called Ozark. By its most famous export, this is Turkey Town, USA.
It's a year-round thing in Ozark. Turkey is year-round.
And turkey pays the bills. From the Butterball plant, which employs 400, to the area's 76 farmers.
Oh, here they all come.
The state produces a third of the nation's turkeys.
People all over the country, is going to eat these turkeys, so I got to take good care of them.
Michael Walker could feed a city the size of Chattanooga, Tennessee, all by himself. He produces 150,000 a year.
In this barn alone, there are more than 11,000 turkeys, and Mike has 3 others just like it. These hens are about 6 weeks old. That's halfway through the growing process.
That is Thanksgiving dinner for a family in America.
So close to Thanksgiving, there's no downtime at the plant.
It's 34 days straight, about 48,000 birds a day.
Only fresh turkeys come off the line now.
By day 26 or 27, everybody's pretty tired and dragging.
Norma Yates has worked in the turkey industry almost 40 years. In fact,
I worked there about 8 years.
it's hard to find anyone here
My aunt worked there pulling gizzards.
who doesn't have a connection to it.
My mom worked at Butterball.
Locals say it's not easy work, but in a tough economy, a product most Americans buy at least once a year keeps the paychecks coming. And the free bird given to workers doesn't go to waste.
What do you eat for Thanksgiving dinner?
Turkey?
No.
Yes. Yes, of course.
What a dark.
Catering the holiday meal from a small town that runs on turkey. Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Ozark, Arkansas.
People were surprised by a new poll of Iowa Republicans out yesterday. It showed Minnesota Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann in a statistical tie with national frontrunner Mitt Romney in that state. And in Iowa today, she officially entered the race. Our report tonight from NBC's Kelly O'Donnell.
In Waterloo, Iowa today,
Hi there. Thank you. It's good to be home.
Republican Michelle Bachmann made her biggest point more than 24 times. This is her hometown.
It's these Iowa roots and my faith in God that guide me today.
Propelled by the Tea Party movement and plenty of confidence.
We can win in 2012, and we will win.
The 55-year-old Minnesota Congresswoman, known for her firebrand conservative style,
We cannot afford 4 more years of Barack Obama.
clearly trying to broaden her appeal beyond social conservatives. Bachmann emphasized that she was once a Democrat.
Our problems don't have an identity of party. They're problems that were created by both parties.
Bachmann attracts plenty of criticism, and it can get personal. She was asked this on Sunday.
Are you a flake?
Well, I think that would be insulting to say something like that because I'm a serious person.
Chris Wallace later apologized to viewers. Bachmann, who has recently begun stressing her background as a tax attorney and small business owner, has been embarrassed by a string of factual errors, like placing the battles of Lexington and Concord in the wrong state. She missed the mark again in our interview, bringing up an unrelated and incorrect claim about her hometown.
Another American that was born in Waterloo, Iowa, was John Wayne.
Iowans say it's widely known here that actor John Wayne was born about 150 miles away in Winterset. Bachmann told me she expects greater scrutiny and needs to be more careful.
I will make mistakes, it will happen, but I will tell you to the very best of my ability, I'll try and get everything right that is coming out of my mouth.
And details matter, and when Bachmann left the stage here, her campaign played the Tom Petty hit song American Girl. Turns out Petty isn't pleased. His manager says they will ask the Bachmann campaign not to use that song. They also asked George W. Bush not to use any of his music. But Hillary Clinton did use American Girl throughout her campaign in 2008. Brian?
Today, it was picture perfect. The first African-American president and his family, touring the first memorial to an African-American. in a place, the National Mall, where until now only presidents had monuments. Moments later, Mr. Obama spoke to an enormous crowd.
And that is why he belongs on this mall, because he saw what we might become.
On a day of music, reverence, and reflection, those who knew and marched with Dr. King, many themselves now icons of the civil rights movement, spoke of the man and his legacy.
Martin Luther King Jr. must be looked upon as one of the founding fathers of the new America.
The new site is steps away from the Lincoln Memorial, where Dr. King gave his seminal I Have a Dream speech in 1963.
With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope.
That line is the inspiration for the memorial's design. The mountain, a large granite block, the stone of hope cut from its center and drawn to the horizon, bearing the sculptured likeness of Dr. King.
He was always getting upset with tall people who looked down on him. Now he's 30 feet tall, looking down on everybody.
It was Dr. King's own children who made the connection between their father's struggle and today.
For all the joy and celebration of this day, it was the themes of Dr. King's career of equality and justice that speaker after speaker kept coming back to.
I hear my father saying what we are seeing now all across the streets of America and the world is a freedom explosion.
The young people of the Occupy movement all over this country and throughout the world are seeking justice.
It was a day of inspiration and a reminder from leaders past and present. The work of Martin Luther King is not yet done. Mike Vaquera, NBC News, Washington.
Becky Lombard may look like any suburban mom, driving errands with her daughter in the back seat.
Yeah.
But look a little closer at 42-year-old Becky. Actually, at her baby Annie, and therein lies a secret, one she delights in sharing with strangers, but only when they ask.
Hi. Guess what? She's a doll.
I know. They're so fun.
Oh, she is a doll. Oh my goodness. Oh, you meant you thought she's a doll being cute? Yes. Oh my gosh, I thought it was a really baby. It's a doll.
What do I think of this? You want my honest answer? Creepy.
Is this a little bit of a spoof? And if it isn't, are you a little weird?
I don't think it's a spoof, no.
So are you odd?
No. I don't think I'm odd. I just think this is a hobby.
A hobby, as it turns out, that is not just Becky's passion.
We're not for sale, we're for adoption. I'm really not a crazy lady, I promise you.
In New Braunfels, Texas recently,
Oh, jeez.
several hundred hobbyists just like Becky showed up to buy and trade dolls. And the hottest item these days, what they call reborns. Dolls that look absolutely, positively real.
This one looks sort of like me when I was a little kid.
Yep.
It's where we met Dory and Gary Gillum.
Hard to let go of your baby.
Now, before you assume the Gillums are a childless couple in search of something they never had, meet the happy Gillum family. 3 kids, 4 grandkids.
You're holding that doll like it's a real child.
Holding babies is just so soothing. It's a stress reliever. I guess guys don't get it.
I don't know how much dealings that you have with women, but I don't think any man understands them anyway. So for me, not understanding the dolls, that's just one of many things we don't understand about women.
Mars, Venus.
Mars, Venus, that's it.
Reborn dolls is not just an American obsession.
Each one is created by hand to look exactly like the real thing.
The esteemed BBC produced an entire documentary on the fake baby phenomenon in England.
It's really nice to be able to come home and just, I give him a little hug and I pat his little bottom.
Following the painstaking process from creation
I love doing it. The end result is something very special.
to birth.
It is about the beauty and the joy of a young child.
Okay.
Back in Texas,
Action.
Becky and her 2 sons regularly produce reborn YouTube videos.
I know this is a doll. This is not a baby, you know.
Reborn dolls.
Oh, gosh.
Who could have guessed this baby boom?
At 7:42, as college students settle into campus life all across the country, a lot of young women will be looking to join sororities. And some are actually preparing well in advance, taking courses and getting coaching months before heading off to school. Here's NBC's Mara Schiavocampo.
It's a rite of passage played out on college campuses across the nation.
How do you feel like?
Sorority Rush Week, the time of year where young women are on a mission to get into the sisterhood of their choice. It's even been glamorized on the big screen.
As president of my sorority, it has come to my attention that the maintenance staff is switching our toilet paper from Charmin to generic.
Now, some students are spending hundreds, even thousands of dollars to make sure they get in, hiring coaches, taking classes, and perfecting their image months before Rush even begins.
If you're not really prepared for it, you're going to be a little blown away.
Catherine Cantwell and Megan Tomick hired a coach before they rushed at the University of Illinois.
I think I went in like a little more level-headed, like not so like freaked out by it all.
And I think it definitely opens your eyes a little bit and shows you what you'll be getting yourself into instead of just throwing yourself into something blind.
Their coach, Kilby McFadden, founder of GoGreekGirl.com.
That is our goal, is to be able to help women become the best versions of themselves so that they are the most confident they can be and they can put their best foot forward and have a successful recruitment experience.
And the coaching industry is booming with blogs, books, and websites offering advice on how to be perceived as likable, damage control techniques, just in case you say the wrong thing, and hair and makeup consultation. The cost of all this? Anywhere from $50 a session to $8,000 for a 2-week course.
These are skills for life. We're teaching them skills that you can use through recruitment are going to help you get into organizations on campus. They're going to help you get that internship. They're going to help you get that job.
And there's battling among sorority houses too. At the University of Kentucky, sorority sisters are practicing their pitches to make sure they attract the very best candidates. It may be part of college life, but critics say young women should be focused on their education, not their social lives.
If a young woman is spending tons of time and money to rush, then she has lost her mind. And so have her parents who are paying for it. And also what the parents are doing is they're telling their daughter that what's more important to them is that she's pretty and cute and superficial, instead of going to school to really come into her own and learn.
To a warning about car surfing. It's a dangerous stunt that's becoming more and more popular with some teenagers. NBC's Kerry Sanders is in Winter Park, Florida with a cautionary tale. Kerry, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Matt. 18-year-old Cameron Bieberly died here when he and his friends thought they were just having some fun and games. And now tragedy again. But this time, the victim has survived. And she's warning other teenagers, car surfing is stupid.
We didn't think it would be dangerous.
16-year-old Hannah Huntoon had never heard of car surfing, a stunt made popular on the internet where someone stands up on top of a car while it's moving. It was just 2 months ago Hannah and her friends went car surfing.
I was on the trunk holding onto the back windshield wipers, standing up.
The ride Hannah and her friends thought would be a thrill ended in tragedy.
We were both sitting out on the patio when they knocked on the door, screaming.
The 3 girls were screaming, Hannah's hurt really bad, you've got to come.
The high school sophomore had fallen off the moving car and slammed into the pavement.
I look and there's her body laying in the middle of the road.
It was bad. It was really bad. We got to the hospital. They pulled us in to show us the skull fracture that was fractured from here all the way down and under. Cracked completely through.
Hannah suffered severe head trauma. Doctors induced a coma to reduce the swelling of her brain. They weren't sure if she would survive, but after 3 weeks of unconsciousness, a glimmer of hope.
On Mother's Day, I got my wish. They removed the vent. She continued breathing, and every day came out of the coma a little bit more.
But Hannah faces a long recovery. With a portion of her skull removed, she now wears a helmet nearly all day and night to protect her brain.
My life before the accident was fun. I would be out all the time. I was always exercising and dancing, but now I can't really do a lot of that. Everything's more difficult and it hurts to be alive.
18-year-old Cameron Bieberly didn't get a second chance. 4 years ago, he joined a group of friends car surfing using a shopping cart hooked to the bumper. When they hit a speed bump, he was thrown 27 feet, landed on his head, and died.
It's destroyed our life.
For Hannah, the once popular member of the high school dance team, life now is about daily physical therapy.
Those are good steps. They're better than last time.
Relearning what most take for granted. And she's working to spread a message to other kids.
No one should car surf. It's just not a good idea. It's too dangerous. There's too many accidents.
The site of the accident is now marked with a red heart on the roadway, a reminder of the instant her life changed forever.
We will teach and educate parents and children that car surfing is a stupid choice, and the drivers have to take responsibility to not drive when their friends want to make a dumb choice.
It's why the Huntoon family is now on a crusade to end car surfing.
But we love you. I love you. And we're going to do good from this.